Okay, let's do this. Let's just do this. Hi. It's been a while. I've kind of been sitting here just staring at the mic, reflection of the camera for like half an hour, trying to figure out how to start this. I don't know how to start this. But here we go, I guess. So this is gonna be basically a little therapy session for me, for somebody who's too cheap to pay for real therapy, I guess. So I'm just gonna talk to whoever the hell will listen. And I want to talk about my life in the past few years in particular, and some other things. And I don't really, like I said, I've been sitting here for half an hour. My thoughts are less organized than when I started. So let's just do things in order, I guess. I've actually got my old streams up right now. Not actually up, but like I've got the file system with all my old VODs in it up. And the earliest VODs I kept were from the end of 2021. But I know that's not when I started. I think I started... Actually, I can tell you almost exactly when I started. Give me a minute. Sure, actually, this is where we should start. This is where we should start. Because this is what... So... In... I think it was the very beginning of 2020, or it might have been like December of 2019, something like this. I got diagnosed with an eye condition, recurrent corneal erosion syndrome. Just to be clear, I'm not dying. I'm not gonna go blind or anything. This is where it sounds like this is going. Fuck. No, this is just a logical starting point for me. I got diagnosed with that, and I was a StarCraft player at the time. I played in tournaments, and I just played to learn and to grow, and I tried to compete to make a little bit of money. And I was not a streamer then, though. And I got diagnosed with this condition. And in the beginning, for like a year, it was like really, really, really bad. Like it was... I didn't think I'd be talking about this, so like I'm feeling a lot of things that I didn't expect to feel here. It was really, really painful. This eye in particular, technically it's not... The condition isn't delegated to one eye, it's both of them, but like this is the one that would always act up. My left eye. Sorry, I've decided that I'm not gonna try to make this a really pretty video where everything comes naturally and it's coherent. I'm just gonna, if I need to be quiet for 30 seconds or something, I'm just gonna do that. So it's really painful, and I would go blind in certain eyes. Mostly it's just this eye, when I would have episodes. And like there were days that I would just close the door to my bedroom and turn off every single light. Like, I don't have any example, but like, you know how sometimes you turn on like an electronic device and there'll be like a tiny little LED light to let you know it was on. Like that would hurt so bad to look at. I would like cover those up with duct tape, and I would just sit in rooms for days sometimes when this happened. And so when that happened, I pretty much had to stop playing StarCraft. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to organize my thoughts a little. I pretty much had to stop playing StarCraft for a lot of months, maybe like 3 to 6 months. And then after those, let's call it 6 months, I could start to play like a little. Like I would just barely be able to have like this like squinting eye, and like it would hurt, and I could like there were days I put on an eye patch sometimes. I'd like the eye patch sucked ass. It didn't really help that much, but like it would let me see because I wouldn't have like shitty vision here and good vision here, and like that just doesn't work at all. But if I close this out entirely, I could actually see. But it made like the pain and discomfort even worse actually. So it would like hit my eyelid, and I could play a little, but I couldn't like actually play at all. I was horrible. That was actually the point in time. The reason I laughed a moment ago is because those of you who watched my streams for a lot of years, you know I had like a buttload of different accounts. I had like tons of accounts. And I would let people like rename them as like an incentive to get like $20 here and there or whatever. It was a fun little thing. But most people probably just imagine like, how do you make that many accounts? Like, how did you find the time to do that? Like, that's the most degen thing of all time. And the reason I did it is because I couldn't really play StarCraft, but like I wanted to play, I wanted to do anything. And so like at least I could make like fresh accounts and get them to like diamond or something, and convince myself that like they would be a useful tool once I was back together. Sorry, this isn't supposed to be about me and my fucking condition. It's gone, by the way, spoiler alert. Like you don't ever technically recover from it, but like I don't really have episodes these days. But I'm trying to create a timeline here, and this is where it starts. So yeah, so I made those accounts, and I would just like get up these accounts to like I would start, like I literally couldn't beat diamond players, so I'd get them with like diamond and just stop. And that's how I got my like buttload of accounts that I would let people rename. And then like 6 months after that point, so like a year after I was diagnosed, I was like kind of mostly better. Oh God, there's so much detail. I can make a fucking hour video talking about this fucking eye condition and all this shit I dealt with, but I'm not gonna try to dwell on it. I'm shaking right now. I'm not expecting to shake. Okay. So it's a year after I'm diagnosed. I was diagnosed at the beginning of 2020. It's now the beginning of 2021. And throughout that year, I would remember some of the times when I was having really bad episodes and I couldn't do anything, and I was just laying there with my thoughts for fucking days. One of the things I thought about is that I did stream a little when I was like really young. Like none of you remember it, I promise you. Like none of you were there. I streamed a little bit when I was like really, really young. It was horrible. Like the quality was the worst thing ever. It was horrible. But I don't know. I probably streamed like 50 hours or something like. And I thought about it, and like one of my regrets was that I never I played so much StarCraft, and I was really good at my own weird fucking shit that I did. And I never showed that to anybody. Like even my wife doesn't really know. Like, I mean, she knows I play, she knows I'm good, she knows I care about it, but she doesn't understand StarCraft. You know, it's just not a hobby of hers. So like I just like nobody saw it, nobody, and you know I try to not value being the center of fucking attention. Yeah, I try not to, but like it's really fucking lonely to do something for years and years and years and just nobody sees it. And so one of my regrets was that I didn't stream ever. It was, you know, the OCD part of my brain is very unhappy with the structure of this video, but I'm just gonna push through it because it's never gonna happen otherwise. God, the audio better be captured. I don't know. I didn't mess with any of my settings. I just kind of went. One of my regrets was that I never streamed. So, beginning of 2021, I'm mostly better. Like, I still kind of have eye problems, but like, it's workable. I'm back to 90% as a StarCraft player, and so I start streaming, and assuming I actually started at the beginning of 2021, which I'm not entirely sure. That, I mean, that's a rough estimate. My VODs go to technically the very end of 2023. My last stream was December 7th, 2023. But it's a single stream for the entire month. November's 2 streams for the entire month. It looks like, excuse me, it looks like October of 2023 is like my last real month of streaming. So I streamed for 1 to almost 3 years, about 2 years and 10 months. And I got like decent as a streamer. I mean, I wasn't the most entertaining person, but my goal wasn't to be a good streamer. My goal was to be a good StarCraft player and to lessen the isolation around all of that, to be able to talk to people and show people what I'm doing and have a little back and forth and have a good time. And I did that. That's exactly what I did. I had a really fucking good time streaming. Okay. And in October, I decided that it was time to move on. Again, I can make a whole fucking video talking about exactly why that is, but I'm gonna give you 3 reasons for why I did that, which is grossly oversimplified. There's 100 reasons, but I'm gonna give you 3 reasons. One is that I was having all kinds of like internet and technical problems in the months prior, like that entire year prior almost. And so I lost a lot of my like momentum as a streamer during that time. I went from like 200 average subs to like 75, and this is over, I was, 75 for months and months and months. It wasn't really growing. It was kind of hanging out like 75 to 100. And I try not to care about the numbers too much, but like streaming and prize money was like all the money I made. Like I made less than minimum wage for a long time. And so it became less and less sustainable, and the fact that it was already not sustainable. And so that was a pressure to move away from it. And there were 2 others. The second one is that my wife deserved better. She never once complained at all about the fact that like I was barely bringing in anything, and it made our lives really fucking hard. She never complained. She would have let me fucking run that road to our graves if I wanted to. But she doesn't need to complain for me to understand that it hadn't, it affects her a lot. And I knew that she deserved better. So that's reason number 2. And reason number 3 is that my father was declining in health a lot. He got diagnosed with skin cancer. Which normally... come on, really already? No, come on. Normally, skin cancer is not really that dangerous. Most people, if you catch it at any reasonable point at all, it's actually like not so bad. That's my understanding. I'm not a doctor, but like this is my understanding based on the research I did. It's pretty tame. You can usually like it's not terminal like 90% of the time or something. But because he was also so poor, like my whole fucking family was, it's just poverty as far back as I've ever seen. He also made under minimum wage. I made under minimum wage. We didn't live together or anything. We saw each other like once a year, maybe twice a year. But because he was so poor, when he started like getting problems, like he got a big ass fucking tumor on his neck for months and months and months, and he never got it looked at because like he didn't have the money. I shouldn't say we, he never came to me, but like he didn't have the money at all. Obviously, in hindsight, of course, he should have fucking got that shit checked out immediately. Like, fucking take on debt, ask people, fucking steal. Like, you gotta get that shit checked out. But he didn't for months and months. And when they caught it, he was in the final stage already. We're just starting. I'm not supposed to fucking right now. So that was reason number 3. Is he was in bad health. Just a second. He was in bad health. And we're gonna have to go a lot further back and get a lot more personal. I guess now's a good time to say that if you came here for a really happy video, then you should probably go anywhere else. Sorry. Viewer discretion and all that, I guess. We're gonna have to go a lot further back. When I was 9, my mother passed away. It's a very old wound. That one really doesn't hurt anymore. It's been 20 years. But my father fell off a cliff like immediately. He completely shut down. He lost his job, which he never got back. 20 years basically unemployed, minimum wage jobs, part-time here and there, but I mean, like, he couldn't do anything. He was a carpenter for most of his life, and you know, he was 45 when she died. She was 43. Yeah, he lost his job. He completely mentally fell apart. He was suicidal. When he was, I mean, maybe like 5 years after she died, he threw himself in front of a semi truck. Literally, he like flew 200 fucking meters, broke his leg in like 50 places, had this big harness on. He was suicidal. He was a mess. And he did this for like 10 years of just depression and suicidal thoughts and actions, and he was just a complete mess for about 10 years. She's been dead 20 years. But then those last 10 years, he actually kind of came back. Like, somehow somebody in my family, I think, convinced him to actually see a doctor and like made that possible. And I think some therapist or something like gave him some, like, this is what you need to do to move on from this. And for some reason, like, his stubborn ass actually listened. And I don't know exactly what things he did or whatever, but he started to like actually move on and kind of become himself 10 years after his wife died. This is my first video in 8 months. Fuck. He started to become himself again. And we would see each other probably once or twice a year, like very little. Like, I was never really close to my father, to be honest, like at all. So we'd see each other once or twice a year. And every single time we'd see each other, it was really sad. It's just two broke, depressed men in a room. Me with no mother and him with no wife. We'd talk about that sometimes. Never anything meaningful. We'd like... And these conversations would almost always end the same way, which was him saying something along the lines of, hey, once I get things sorted out and we have a little bit more money, we'll go do something. He liked to do 3 things. There were 3 things that I always like thought of that my father liked to do. Very traditional white man things. He liked to golf, he liked to fish, and he liked to bowl. And so, hey, once we get some money together, well, we'll go do some of these things, whatever. We'll go fishing, we'll go golfing, we'll go bowling. And he did that for 10 years. And for about 8 of those, I'd hear him say that, and I go, oh, yeah, like, no, it's not going to happen, whatever, it's a nice thought. And I'd almost get mad at him, like, you gotta, like, we can't just keep fucking saying this in limbo forever. Like, you either stop saying it and, like, accept how things are, or do something about it. But, like, don't keep doing this fucking false hope shit of us actually getting to know each other. But for some reason, I guess just me getting older and understanding more of my responsibilities as an adult or something, or me seeing him getting older and weaker, the last couple of years when he'd say that, instead of me getting angry at him internally, of course I never say any of it, can't fucking express my emotions to my father, God, but I'd feel it. And instead of me getting angry at him, the last couple of years of that, I get angry at myself for not having money to go do anything with him and to get to know him and have a good time and make memories and take pictures. Even though I didn't say those things ever, he was still the one saying it. It felt like, instead of him saying, I'm sorry that I don't have the money for us to go do these things, it was, and he never meant it this way, but it was just how I started to internalize it. It sounded like, hey, it's really sad that you don't have the money for us to go do these things. And I didn't. I mean, I never did. So that was reason number 3, that I moved away from streaming, went back to school, started looking for work, is because I wanted to have some money to do some things with my father before he died. So I pretty much stopped streaming in October of 2023. My last official stream ever was December of 2023. And during those, for about 5 months, from like October to May, actually, so I guess closer to like 6 or 7 months, I was pretty much just doing school full time. Yeah, it was just school. I was getting a CS degree. I'm still in school. And I focused on that for like just 6 months. And towards the end of that, I started like trying to see if I could get some sort of starter job in the field or something. So I was applying online and trying to get that moving. And in May 1st was my start date. I got a job in, I guess I shouldn't say exactly where. It was in Maryland. I can say that much. I'm in Michigan, so it's like a 10-hour drive. I'm like north center-ish in the United States, Michigan, and Maryland's on the East Coast. So I went down there. They wanted me to do 3 months in person, an internship, and then if they really liked me, we could maybe move forward with a real full-time offer, and maybe that would be remote, maybe not, you know, kind of. And I did that for 3 months, and they gave me a remote offer, and I got that. I'm back in Michigan right now. I'm still working that job, and I landed back in Michigan on July 28th. It's August 30th as of me making this video, so it was almost a month ago, like almost to the day. I landed back here. And I saw my father on about August 2nd, maybe, give or take a couple days. Something like that. I saw him once. And he was in really, really, really bad shape. Huge tumor here. He probably weighed 90 pounds, all bones. I mean, looked like a, this isn't too insensitive, but he looked like a picture out of Auschwitz. Like, not good. And he had no energy. He could technically walk. I mean, it was rough, but he could walk. And his voice, his voice was really raspy. Like, there's no way he should have been able to talk. But he was like, anytime he was around me, at least, and probably other people too, I'm not sure. He was so damn determined to talk that he would put all of his energy into trying to fucking get it out. So he was like, you could understand him, but it was really hard. You know, every word, every sentence was like a lot of effort and a lot of, on both sides, trying to understand him and him trying to get it out. And he was in rough shape. And he wasn't hospitalized or anything. He probably should have been, but again, we're dirt fucking poor, so he's probably like, oh, I don't want to. Yeah, no insurance. Anyway. And so I thought to myself right then, okay, my father has not stepped onto a golf course in 10 years. He has not stepped foot in a bowling alley for 10 years. He hasn't been on a boat ever, as far as I know, probably when he was younger in his 20s or 30s, but I'm not sure. He has not been able to do a single fucking thing that he likes in 10 years because of money problems. And you know what? I brought some money back with me, like nothing crazy, but like, I was like, you know what? I can squeeze it. I can rent a boat and we can go fishing. Fucking finally. But I was like, okay, today he's not in the best shape. But I mean, you know, it's been a very slow and steady decline for 3-4 months, or 6 months, a year. And he's still walking around. He's not hospitalized. He's not on IV, you know, on the fucking brink of death. I'm like, you know what? Hopefully he's going to have like a good day, a single day, somewhere between here and there. And I'll try to get something together. And we can fucking go fishing. Finally. Like something. And, like I said, it's August 30th as of making this. And on August 22nd, he passed away. Spoiler alert, we never got to fucking do anything. His entire life after his wife passed away, my mother, was just defined by poverty and the inability to do anything because of it. Just crippling fucking poverty. And some 10 years after I turned 18 and became an adult, I finally fucking went out and got a little money together so I could get to know my father in a normal way, make some memories. And I was too late by like a month, maybe weeks. I guess that concludes the timeline approach. Caught up to today. I think some big parts of it that really fucking hurt too are like, my father never really knew what I did. He knew I liked computers and that I did something with a game professionally. Clearly didn't make much fucking money doing it. But he had no idea. Like, he's never seen my fucking jersey, like. So he didn't know. He did. I did tell him that I landed a good job and that I'm actually getting paid well. So he knew that, and he said he was proud of me for that. Which is like a whole other box of complication, because I am not proud of me for that. Like, I'm happy about it. God, I've lived enough shit to know the importance of basic financial comfort, just knowing that next month is accounted for and things are going to work out, you know what I mean? Having a little bit of decoration to show who you are. So I'm happy about it, but I'm not proud of it. I'm proud of what I did in StarCraft. I wasn't the best in the world. I wasn't that amazing, but I had a very particular way that I cared about the game. And within, to a reasonable degree, I had never violated that too much. Like, I did what I cared about, and I became pretty damn good doing what I cared about, playing the way that was important to me and that mattered to me and that was beautiful to me. I became, you know, #1 Zerg in the United States, which is a title, I guess. And I'm proud of that. It's not amazing, but I did what I cared about and I did okay. But he never knew that. Never had the chance to explain it to him. Of course I had the chance, but I didn't. And I almost feel like the biggest time that I betrayed my values and what I cared about was when I stopped doing StarCraft and started moving towards a more traditional path. To me, it almost feels like I sold out. Like, I feel that way a little bit when I started streaming, but like, I had good intentions when I did it. I didn't do it for the money. I did it for the people. Not because you guys needed the content. I mean, like, interactions with people, getting to know people, you know, making it less isolating. And I was like, hey, you know, it can supplement some of this income that I really fucking desperately need. And it, you know, so I feel like I sold out there a little. I wasn't in love with it, but it was okay. It was reasonable. And I feel like I've kind of sold out again, sacrificing what I care about to get what society cares about, if that makes sense. And it's okay. I'm not a fucking child. Like, I understand that things aren't that black and white. Like, there's a reason I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm not throwing it all away tomorrow. But I'm not necessarily proud of what I've done over the past 6 months. I'm happy about it. It needed to happen. And the day to day, my life is happier because of that. a lot of other people around me have at least the potential to be happier because of that. But I'm not proud of it. That's what he was proud of. I guess that's really hard for me to deal with. He didn't have a funeral either. There's no funeral of any kind. No. Nothing. Just because of money. So this is pretty much the closest I'm gonna come to grieving, I guess. You're all caught up. That's what happened while I was gone. I'm back, guys. I'm not back. I'm not gonna start streaming again for real. Not right now, at least. Probably not. Probably not like full-time streaming ever again. I might do it like part-time in the future. Right now I have school and work. One other thing I wanted to say that totally fits the fucking mood of this video is I'm gonna upload at least some of my old streams. I'm just kind of like going through a few of them and just popping through different time points and trying to check my mood, and if I feel like I'm in a good mood, then cool, I'll call that was a good stream and I'll upload a good stream. So I'll probably do one of those a week for some amount of time, as long as it doesn't feel like a chore, pretty much. Maybe that'll be for a year, maybe it'll be for a month, I'm not sure. But feel free to sub to the channel if you want those videos in your feed. I'm genuinely, like, you do not sub for me. I'm not a fucking content creator. I don't make a dime off of YouTube. I never plan to. Like, sub if you want to see those videos. That's it. Never really been somebody to just sit and talk about my feelings like this, but I know this is part of the process of moving on, so. I didn't know how to start this, and I don't really know how to end this, but I don't think I have any other massive pressing thoughts. That's it, guys. I guess I'm out for now. I won't be streaming or making videos for a long time, probably. You know, maybe one will come up every few months if I have a reason that I really care about to make it like this. But I guess something worth mentioning is I'm still in my community Discord that I used for streaming. I still look at that all the time. I see every single message that goes through there. I check them all, respond to some of them, maybe like half. And so if you're interested in just keeping in touch with me, no pressure, of course, but you can do it there. I'm still a person. I don't have to be streaming to be a person. And, you know, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm a fucking celebrity over here. Like I'm just a dude. Like, talk to me. Say hi. I'll put the community Discord in the description box for this YouTube video, I guess. In case you're interested. But that's it for now. Maybe in a year or two, I'll do like part-time streaming. Kind of get back at it, you know, semi for real. No promises, but maybe. I miss it a lot in some ways. So, maybe. That's it, guys. Take care.